guys. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for tuning in tonight. So I'm trying out a new software tonight, so hopefully everything runs smoothly. But yeah, basically I am using this new program and just trying out something different. So just give me one sec, and let's see, here we go. So yeah, basically tonight we are going to do something really fun. We're going to cook a pumpkin in the Instant Pot. And for those of you who are new tuning in, my name is Beta, and I'm a food blogger over at monpetitfour.com. Hi Patricia, thanks so much for tuning in. So yeah, basically I bought a pie pumpkin and I wanted to test it out in the Instant Pot. I tried it and it worked out really, really well. So that was kind of the inspiration behind tonight's video. And then I just wanted to share a really fun homemade recipe that you could do. Just one of the many, many ways you can use pumpkin puree. So you guys know the drill. Just bear with me for a second so I can make sure I've got the video shared up with everybody. And, you know, that way everybody's happy. So let's see here. If you're tuning in, let me know your name, where you're watching from. It's always fun to see, you know, where you guys are from in the world. Some of you guys are from really far places from me, so it's always really neat to just kind of get a picture of where the viewers are from. And I think we're pretty much set here. And let me know in the comments what you're, you know, making these days for fall. If you've got any, you know, good holiday recipes that you recommend, I'd love to hear too. And like I said, I'm using a new software tonight to go live. So if anything is wonky, like voice or video, please let me know so that way I can try to troubleshoot it for either now or next time, or just avoid this software. And I'm going to try to follow your guys' comments here on my phone. Sometimes Facebook feed is a little bit delayed, so if I don't respond right away, that's why. So let's see here. I think we're good to go. Turn down the volume here. Here we go. Okay, cool. So, basically, I wanted to show you how I went ahead and set up the pumpkin in the Instant Pot. So, I'm just going to show you that through this little pre-recorded video that I have here. Just give you a real quick glimpse. If you're just tuning in, I am making a pumpkin, or cooking a pumpkin in the Instant Pot. It only takes 13 minutes in the Instant Pot. If you've ever roasted a pumpkin in the oven, you know it takes a lot longer. It's only 13 minutes on manual in the Instant Pot pressure cooker. And then I'm going to show you how we're going to make a really yummy homemade pumpkin spice latte with the puree that we create out of the pumpkin. So let's just put up the video here. Let's see here. Okay, so Melissa says your kitchen is backwards. I'm trying to see because I'm on my phone looking at the feed, so it looks okay to me, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So let me put up the video here, and let's see if you guys can see that. Switch to video. So literally you saw how easy that was. And what you want to just do is after you've cooked it in the Instant Pot, don't do a quick release. Instead, just let it do a natural pressure release, which basically means you don't do anything. You just let it automatically, on the Instant Pot, it'll automatically switch to like keep warm. And you'll just let it sit there until the little metal valve thing pops back down, and you'll know the pressure is released. And then you take it out, and your pumpkin will basically look like this. So it will look pretty mashed up. I would say the trickiest part of doing the pumpkin in the Instant Pot was just lifting it out, because the pumpkin is just so tender that it really is kind of mushy and will fall apart. So what I did is, I'll show you, I just used two big like spatulas like this, and I just basically dug them out, together out of the pot like that. I mean, it was a quick thing, so I didn't take my time with it. I didn't want to risk it like going all mushy on me. So after that, you'll find that the skin peels off really easy. So that's just the best part of this, because cutting up a pumpkin and getting that skin off is not the funnest thing ever. So basically, yeah, I just peel the skin right off, and just put the scraps aside. And then what we'll do is we'll basically just break up this actual flesh into smaller pieces, and we'll put that into our food processor and puree it. And honestly, that's as easy as making pumpkin puree is. I find that it's not only cheaper. For instance, I found this pie pumpkin in the grocery store for 79 cents. And if you've bought canned pumpkin, you'll know it can actually be like a few dollars. It can get a little pricey, especially because, during this time of the year, we're usually doing quite a bit of pumpkin in our recipes. So let me just right-side it down. Perfect. Okay. So I'm just going to cut up the pumpkin into smaller pieces. And you'll see I've got the seeds. All I do is I just kind of scrape those out. I cut them out and remove it. Just voila. And you could actually save the seeds if you wanted and, toast them in the oven. That's always really yummy too. You can make a fun Thanksgiving mix, a little nut mix. So, just taking out all the seeds. Maybe you can get your kids involved with this part. Kids always like this kind of stuff, the slimy part of a pumpkin. I know I did. I loved, carving a pumpkin and sticking my hand into it to dig out all the seeds. That was always my favorite part of carving a pumpkin as a kid. So I'm just going to take out, that piece looks good. So, once you have this hollowed out piece, you'll see here, I'm just going to cut it up into basically smaller chunks. So really easy. Let's see here, perfect. And then let me just get the food processor here. Okay. Perfect. So I'm assuming everything so far with sound is okay, because none of you have said that my sound is off. So if you're just tuning in, basically I'm just trying out a new software when I go live. So I'm seeing how it goes. And it's always good to try different things. And this is cool too because I can put like text over the video and show pre-recorded stuff too. One of the challenges whenever you do a Facebook Live video with you guys is just that obviously, like for example, a baking recipe. We don't have time to sit here for the full, hour or hour and a half that a pumpkin pie, for instance, would need to take. So to be able to show you guys, hey, this is what the step-by-step process of making the batter looks like, ahead of time, and then just pull out the pie out of the oven is really cool. So it kind of takes care of that time challenge. So, and then I can show you guys a lot more recipes this way. Okay, so I'm just chopping up the final pieces and putting that in my food processor. You could also use like a blender if you have one of those really cool like Vitamix blenders or something. You could do that. But I'm just using my old-fashioned food processor. And let's see, let's put that in there. Any extra puree scraps, we want to get those in. Okay, and then hey Jewel, how are you? Thanks for tuning in, Jewel. And if you guys have any friends that have the Instant Pot, make sure you go ahead and share this video onto your own wall or your friend's wall. You can also tag a friend, and that way they can see what we're doing here, how we are actually cooking the pumpkin in the pot. So they probably missed the beginning, but they can always watch this video after we finish the live. It'll be published and they'll be able to see. Hey Donna, I'm loving your icon, your profile picture. That is very, very cool. It's very festive and in season. I love that. So I'm going to put this aside, and then I'm just going to scoop this guy over. So when you're processing the pumpkin, it might not process very well. I don't know if it's just my food processor because it's a little bit older, but I'm pretty sure that most of them will want you to add just a little bit of water to help things, get going. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to stream in with like a couple tablespoons of water. And then I'm going to give it a go. So sorry if it's loud for a second. Yeah. Okay, so. And I just spotted a little seed in here. That little sucker. There we go. And I'm going to stream in a little more because you can see the top is not quite pureeing, but the bottom is. So just add a little water to help things go. And then giving it a few pulses helps too. Add a little more. So you can add anywhere from like a 1/4 cup to even up to 1/2 cup of water. So don't be afraid to add in the water. So we just needed that little bit more bit of water to really get things going. So once you do that, you'll have a lovely puree of pumpkin. And what I do is, this is obviously a lot of puree, like this recipe for the Pumpkin Spice Latte. You need, like if you want to do 4 servings, you need 4 tablespoons of pumpkin puree. And that's it. So instead of, wasting the rest of the puree, obviously, just put it in a food container and you can either freeze it if you don't think you're going to be using it by the end of the week. Otherwise, you can, if you do have a recipe you're going to be making, then you can just store it in the refrigerator for, 3-4 days. So let's move this guy aside. And let me put up the ingredients for the pumpkin spice latte. Let me show you. This is what we're going to be creating right now with our puree. Yum! How good does that look? I think it looks delish. I just love making the pumpkin puree at home because I find it tastes better than the canned kind. Also, pumpkin spice latte, when I go to Starbucks and I order one, I have to change it up so much. I basically tell them, like, yeah, I want like 2 pumps of syrup instead of 3. I want an extra shot of espresso. It becomes really high maintenance. And it's only because I find that most of the time the one in the coffee shop is pretty sweet. I don't like things that sweet. So when you make it at home, you can adjust all of that yourself. So let's go ahead and let's put this aside temporarily. Let's get our portable stove out. And let me put up the ingredient list too so you guys can see. Yes, here we go. Let's move that over. I'll put that right over here. See how cool this software is? It's kind of cool because they can put up stuff like this, so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. And basically all we're going to do is we're going to start out with just warming up some milk. So I brewed some fresh coffee. It's just sitting in my coffee pot waiting. Use whatever coffee brand, type you like. I just use like a house blend coffee and brewed some of that, freshly made. And now I'm just going to add some milk to this saucepan. Let's turn this on. Yeah, so basically you just want to warm up the milk. You can, basically I put 2%, but you could do whole milk, you could do fat-free, whatever you like. It doesn't have to be a particular kind. Hey Maria, thanks so much for tuning in tonight. It's always great to see you. So you want to warm up the milk, and then basically what we're going to do is we're just going to add some of the pumpkin puree. We're going to be adding in some pumpkin pie spice and some granulated sugar, and that's it. That's as easy as making a homemade pumpkin spice latte is. So now that you know it's really easy, you'll probably be very hesitant to actually go ahead and spend like $5 on Starbucks one. I mean, there's an experience of going out to the coffee shop and getting coffee. I always love doing that, but sometimes when you're just craving one and you're at home, you can make it yourself. So I've got this milk warming up, and then I'm going to be adding in some pumpkin puree. So I'm actually halving that recipe. You see the ingredient amount there. So I'm just going to do half because I'm just making this for myself. And if you do want, I recommend, let's say you want to make this for a few days, you can do the full recipe amount for the, what I call the pumpkin milk, this aspect of the recipe, and then just brew your, personal size cup of coffee, and you can store this in the fridge and then just pour it into your coffee throughout the week. Obviously warm it up a little bit before you add it to your coffee, or else it's going to make your coffee totally cold. So, hi Shima, thanks for tuning in. So yeah, if you guys are just tuning in, basically so far I've showed how I cook the pumpkin in the Instant Pot. While this is warming up, let me actually go ahead and play that for you guys again for those of you who are just tuning in late. It's real quick. So I cooked pumpkin in the Instant Pot for 13 minutes and then I pureed it. So here's the video on how I go. Hey Alex, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, so once we did that, our pumpkin, basically the skin, which I'll just show you a heaping pile here, the skin just peeled off really easy. I mean, it's so easy that I was saying one of the trickier parts of cooking the pumpkin in the Instant Pot is just the stage of actually taking the pumpkin out of the pot. Because it's so tender and mushy at that point that you just have to be careful and carefully remove that out, and the skin will just peel right off. And I stuck it in my food processor, added some water to just help get it processing in there, and pureed it. And now I've just warmed up some milk in a saucepan. I added some pumpkin puree. I'm going to add some sugar. Let me just grab my measurement. How much sugar you add is totally up to you. So, you know, if you like your stuff really sweet, you can add more than what I recommend. And let me get that ingredient actually right back up here so you can see. There we go. So, but, you know, that's totally taste. I would just start out with, like, I'm doing just a little bit right now. Like I said, I'm halving this recipe. So instead of 3.5 tablespoons of sugar, I just put in about 1.5. And I'll just test it out, just taste test. And if you want it sweeter, you can always just add in more sugar. So it's harder to take the sugar out. So that's why I recommend adding just a little bit. Hey Firuza, how are you? Thank you for watching tonight. Hope you're doing well. We're just making a pumpkin spice latte. I'm sure you've heard of this. It's at Starbucks and probably every other coffee shop in the world right now. And you can see you don't want your milk to come to boil. You just want it to be just beginning to simmer along the edges, and there should be steam rising like there is right now from the milk. But don't let it come to a boil, because when you boil milk, it gets that like filmy layer on the top, which is not so pleasant. So I'm just going to add in some pumpkin pie spice. This is where you get, you know, all those yummy flavors of like the cloves and cinnamon and all that in your pumpkin spice latte. So just give that a whisk, get that incorporated. Smells so good. And then once this is, let's see. Ooh, here we go. Okay, there. This thing, if you guys have been watching me before, I've said I have like a love-hate relationship with this portable stove because it gets really, really hot fast, which is normally good when you're trying to do quick cooking, but on Facebook Live, not so much. So, okay, so our milk is heated, so all I'm going to do is just add a little splash of vanilla extract to it. And then I'll be ready to combine it with my coffee. So let me move the ingredients out of the way there. Let's get this set aside. And, yeah, this guy's looking good, so let's turn him off. So you just want to turn off the heat. You want to add in the vanilla extract at the end, just because it's not, vanilla extract, you don't really want to cook it like we did with the sugar and milk and puree. This is more just like a finishing touch at the end that you want to add in. So then let me pour in some coffee. So the ratio I like to use is half a cup of coffee to half a cup of the pumpkin milk. So I'll just pour some coffee in here, and this is just freshly brewed coffee. Any flavor, any type that you like, it's totally up to you. And let's get a ladle here. I'll make it easier, and I'll just pour in some of this delicious pumpkin mixture. So good. So, like I said, if you make the full recipe, it'll make it enough for 4 servings, so 4 people. And let me just get some freshly made whipped cream. I recently made a pumpkin pie recipe. Let me show you guys actually, because I just made it. Here we go. I posted it on the blog. Here we go. So that was my pumpkin pie. It's funny because I have been baking forever, but I just never really made a pumpkin pie from scratch. That was always like my sister's pie that she made for Thanksgiving, so I never really, tried it. And then I did this week, and it was so good. Definitely try it out. So I'm just going to add some whipped cream on top, because whipped cream makes everything good. And then we'll just do for fun a little sprinkle of cinnamon on top. I find it makes it just look pretty. So I just kind of give this a tap. Don't want too much. And let me come up close and show you guys. Actually, I don't know if you'll be able to see. Let's see. It's kind of hard to see there, but and then the thing is, I can't see myself. There we go. So yeah, so that was as easy as it is to make a homemade pumpkin spice latte. And it's so good. Oh my gosh. Way better than the Starbucks one, I'm telling you, because you don't have any fake syrups or preservatives or any just artificial stuff in here. You've just got coffee, milk, our pumpkin puree, and pumpkin pie spice, some sugar, and a splash of vanilla extract, and some freshly made whipped cream. So good. You can find this recipe on my blog, monpetite4.com. You can see in the description I put the recipe link so that you can find it there. And also you can find more recipes on there too if you're looking for other fall recipes. One thing that I am offering right now is a free puff pastry tutorial that you can watch and learn from, because it's actually material that's taken from my Master French Bread and Pastry course, and I provide it for those people who subscribe to my blog. I give it to you absolutely free, so make sure you check that out if you want. Let me go ahead and show you. I'll put up the link to that. Here we go. So, yeah, if you go to monpetite4.com, that's where you can learn how to make homemade puff pastry. Just use the subscribe, window. You'll see right when you land on the home page, there's like a spot where you can enter your name and email, and you'll get the video lessons sent to you. But, otherwise, if, you guys are all good, just make sure you share the video or tag a friend if you want. And let me know how you guys like this new software that I'm using. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Remember, you can follow me here on Facebook. Every week I do a live cooking show right here on my page, which is the @MonPetite4 blog. Or if you just search Mon Petite 4 in the search bar, you can find my page that way. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. Bye, guys.